Good day everyone. In this video, we will tackle the human conflict in an organization. But before that, let us know the nature and meaning of conflict. Cited in the research of Reska and Olak 2016, the concept of conflict came from the Latin word conflictus, meaning clash or fight, and from the word confligo, meaning to disagree, argue, collide, or be at war. Clash may happen when people have different opinions, beliefs, attitude, and moral positions about a problem. On the other hand, conflict arises if people disagree on particular views and differ on how to solve a certain problem. In an organization, conflict can be defined as a state of disagreement that is caused by perceived or actual opposition amongst the people working in an organization. The conflict can be of interest, values, or needs, resulting in an unavoidable clash between authority and the people affected, or the what we call colleagues. Organizational conflict can also be subtle in role definitions, jealousy, rivalry, and the struggle for favor or power. There are several reasons why conflict arises in an organization. However, it is necessary to find an immediate and constructive solution to sort this out. Management should have a rational process to explore the existing problem and find an immediate alternative.
We are here to talk about the types of conflict based on parties involved. The first is the interpersonal conflict. Interpersonal conflict is defined as a person's internal conflict. This conflict arises out of your own thoughts, emotions, ideas, values, and predispositions. It can occur when you are struggling between what you want to do and what you should do. An example of interpersonal conflict is when one has to make an important personal decision regarding his or her work circumstances and interacts with oneself to decide on the most appropriate action. The second one is the interpersonal conflict. Interpersonal conflict occurs between people that are required to interact but have different styles, goals, or values. This type of conflict is often referred to as personality conflict and usually revolves around personal differences rather than organizational goals. It can result from different personalities or differing perspectives on how to accomplish goals. Interpersonal conflict may even occur without one party realizing there was ever conflict. An example of this may refer to public managers collaborating on a project when one takes deadlines seriously while the other one does not. The intragroup conflict is a third type of conflict. Intragroup conflict refers to conflict within a work group or team over goals or process. This level of conflict occurs between members of a single group when there are multiple people with varying opinions, backgrounds, and experiences working toward a common goal. Even though they may all want to achieve the same goal, they may disagree about how to reach it. Intergroup conflict can also occur when team members have differences in communication styles and personalities. While some level of intergroup conflict is healthy and helps to prevent groupthink, too much conflict can be detrimental to the group. For instance, a board of directors may want to take a risk to launch a set of products on behalf of their organization, in spite of dissenting opinions among several members. Intergroup conflict takes place among them as they argue the pros and cons of taking such a risk.
Intergroup conflict. This conflict can be found between groups. Intergroup conflict usually involves disagreements between two opposing forces over goals or the sharing of resources. It is typically the most complicated form of conflict because of the number of individuals involved. Coalition form within and between groups, and an us against them or mentality developed. This conflict can be an opportunity to have a group think for them to grow and thrive. Next is the intra-organizational conflict. This conflict occurs when there is disagreements in an organization, either within or between levels. The three levels of intra-organizational conflict are vertical, which occurs among different hierarchical levels. Horizontal arises between departments on the same level, and line staff, which happens between the line manager and the staff manager. Generally, line managers manage production while staff managers offer a consulting service to managers. The conflict between these two groups usually arises because the consultant authority in an organization is not clearly defined. And lastly is the interorganizational conflict. This conflict occurs between two companies in the same industry. For example, the disagreement between computer manufacturers over computer standards, between two companies in different industries or economic sectors. For example, a conflict between real estate interest and environmentalist over land use planning, and even between two or more countries. For example, a trade dispute between the United States and Japan or France. In each case, both parties unavoidably feel the pursuit of their goals is frustrated by the other party.
Conflict is also categorized as positive or negative results relevant to the parties' responses. These types are termed the dysfunctional conflict and the functional conflict. The dysfunctional conflict, otherwise known as the destructive form of conflict, is an issue that concentrates on the emotions and differences between the parties involved rather than considering the substantive matters where it causes them to retaliate or hurt each other. This commonly leads to problems like employee depression, absenteeism, burnout, etc., which can negatively influence employees, work groups, and the organization's overall performance. However, not all conflicts are damaging. Some disagreements have positive outcomes, and these are called the functional or constructive conflicts. This type of conflict is considered healthy between the concerned parties since it balances the interests of both to maximize mutual gains and attain mutual goals. It has positive influences that enhance one's creativity, adaptation, and determination to meet acceptable outcomes. This calls for changes, improves situations, and offers alternative ideas and solutions, which is beneficial not only to the employees but also to the organization.
Here are the factors influencing organizational conflict. The first one is unclear responsibility. When it is not clear who is responsible for what part, a task, or a project, a conflict arises. This in fact an organization, as unclear rules and responsibilities affect communication within a group and the company. Communication is more precise when it is clear who is responsible for what we can expect from them, and who needs to be informed when a person has taken particular decision and action. Not only is it clear to contact, they also know what to communicate about. Employees feel unmotivated and unvalued. Ambiguity kills performance. Lack of responsibility and clear expectation can create tension and conflict among employees. We can easily prevent these scenarios by allowing everyone to see who is responsible for what. This can result in multiple people performing the same task. To avoid this situation, the roles and responsibilities of the team members must be clearly defined and accepted by all equally. The second one is interpersonal relationship. It refers to a strong association between individuals working together in the same organization. Employees who work together must share a special bond to get out of themselves. Individuals must be honest with each other for a healthy interpersonal relationship and positively a positive atmosphere in the workplace. But when a manager has a poor interpersonal communication skills, they can be expected to annoy and confuse employees and their customers. There is a greater need for a manager to work on their interpersonal skills than the average employee. Each member of an organization has a different personality, which plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts in an organization. Workplace conflicts are often caused by interpersonal issues between members of the organization. A good interpersonal relationship between employees will be beneficial and likely boost employees' moral, engagement, and inspire them to do quality work.
The next source of conflict is lack of resources. There are several departments within an organization. Each of them has been given the resources required to perform their role and responsibilities. Suppose they always receive enough amount of supply. In that case, there will be no problem. But we all know that most of the time, resources are limited. That's where conflict arises. Those who receive resources will certainly have a conflict with those who don't if there isn't enough material and supplies for everyone. The more resources a company has to work with, the more departments compete for them that will come up with better ideas on how they will efficiently use the resources to get it. The last one is conflict of interest. When individual interests don't match with the goals of the organization, conflict of interest arises. As soon as an individual's interests are at odds with the interests of another individual or group, a conflict of interest develops. There may be a conflict of interest if a person must answer to two distinct groups or people, each of which has different requirements. In this situation, helping one person or group harms everyone else. Taking paid purchase inferior products for his company's use, for example, may benefit an employee while hurting his business.
There are 5 significant conflict in management styles according to Thomas Kielman Conflict Mode Instrument. These 5 important styles of conflict management used by human resource professionals worldwide are collaborating, competing, avoiding, accommodating, and compromising. First, we have the collaborating style, which is the combination of being assertive and cooperative. In this style, to identify a solution, first, you need to identify the conflict and then work with others so that you can fully satisfy everyone's concerns. So, in this style, the collaborating style attempts to find a solution that will meet the needs of all parties rather than finding a middle ground solution. You would aim for a solution that satisfies everyone and ends up being a win-to-win situation. Collaborating works best when the long-term relationship and outcome are important. For example, planning for integrating 2 departments into one where you want the best of both in the newly formed department, according to Dr. Benoliel. Also, the best way to use the collaborating style is when you're new to a job and want to build a trust. On the other hand, the competing style, who's the one competes assertive and not cooperative and is willing to pursue one's concerns at another person's expense. And also, Dr. Benoliel explains that using this style works when you don't care about the relationship. Still, the outcome is important, such as when competing with another company for a new client. But, she cautions, don't use competing inside your organization, it doesn't build a relationship. Also, teasers are it could be appropriate when you have to stand up for your rights or morals, need to make a quick decision, and force others to get on board, need to end a long-term conflict, or have to prevent a terrible opposing decision from being made. Example of competing style in practice. There's a 6-story office building under construction with several crews on the job. One crew member continually ignores safety protocol, skirting step that could risk his life. The manager reprimands him in front of everyone and dismisses him. He is behaving in such a way that could lead to an accident. The safety issue could endanger others and in the long term, the project itself. Though the competing style is often viewed negatively, the decisive action taken by the manager here can be also seen as positive because it keeps everyone safe.
The third, compromising mode aims to find a suitable, mutually acceptable solution that partially satisfies both parties in the conflict while maintaining some assertiveness and cooperativeness. This mode is best to use when the outcome is not crucial and you are losing time. For example, when you want to make a decision and move on to more important things and willing to give a little to get the decision made. Next, avoiding. Those who avoid conflict tend to be unassertive and uncooperative, while diplomatically sidestepping an issue or simply withdrawing for a threatening situation. Use this when it's safer to postpone dealing with the situation or you don't have as a great concern about the outcome. For example, when you perceive no chance of satisfying your concern. The last, accommodating, is an element of self-sacrifice when accommodating to satisfy the other person. While it may seem generous, it could take advantage of the weak and cause resentment. You can use accommodating when you don't care a lot about the outcome but you want to preserve or building the relationship. For example, when issues are more important to other than yourself to satisfy other and maintain cooperation.
Well, the conflict process shows how conflict works in an organization. It is divided into 5 stages, which explain how conflict grows, develops, or unfolds among individuals or groups who have differing organizational goals, interests, or values. The first stage of the conflict process is potential opposition or incompatibility. In this stage, there are potential areas of conflict that could be developed. It is the presence on condition that creates opportunities for conflict to rise. And if conflict does arise, chances are it is mainly because of issues regarding communication, structure, or personal variables. The second stage is based on cognition and personalization, and it happens when one of the factors indicated in the potential opposition stage actually develop as a conflict. During this stage, the perception of conflict arises between the parties. Third is intention. It sits in the middle of people's views and emotions and assists those involved in a possible conflict in deciding how to act in a particular way. In order to respond appropriately to a statement or action, one must deduce what the other person meant. Many disputes grow as a result of one party assuming the other's bad intention.
The next stage is behavior. It is the stage where the conflict becomes evident as it includes the statements, actions, reactions of the parties involved in the conflict. These behaviors might be overt attempt to get the other party and to reveal intentions, but they have a stimulus quality that separates them from the actual intention stage. The last stage will be the outcome. These outcomes can be either functional, in that the conflict results in an improvement in the group's performance, or dysfunctional, that it hinders group performance.
The concept of conflict came from the Latin word conflictus, meaning clash or fight. Clash may happen when people have different opinions, beliefs, attitudes, and moral positions about a problem. In an organization, conflict can be defined as a state of disagreement caused by perceived or actual opposition among the people working in an organization. There are 6 types of conflict: intrapersonal conflict, interpersonal conflict, intragroup conflict, intergroup conflict, intraorganizational conflict with 3 levels: vertical, horizontal, and line staff. And the last type is the interorganizational conflict. Conflict is also categorized as positive or negative results relevant to the parties' responses. These types are termed dysfunctional conflict, otherwise known as the destructive form of conflict, and the other is a functional conflict or called constructive conflict. Some factors are influencing organizational conflict: unclear responsibility, interpersonal relationships, lack of resources, and conflict of interest. Conflict is a normal and natural part of any work that can lead to absenteeism, lost productivity, and mental health issues. According to Thomas Gilman, Conflict Mode Instrument, there are 5 significant conflicts in management styles used by human resource professionals worldwide. These are collaborating, competing, avoiding, accommodating, and compromising. Organizational conflict happens when the goals, interests, or values of multiple individuals or groups are incompatible. It has a process that shows how conflict works in an organization. It is divided into 5 stages. The first stage is the potential opposition or incompatibility. The next one is based on cognition and personalization. The third is intention, and the fourth is behavior. The last stage would be the outcome. It is essential to find an immediate and constructive solution to sort this out. Management should have a rational process to explore the existing problem and find an alternative.
Conflict is not a strange thing for people. Humans encounter it in their daily lives with their friends, families, and more importantly in their professional lives. Conflict in the workplace causes a great deal of frustration, pain, discomfort, sadness, and anger. In today's world, organizations hire people from all over the world with varying cultural and intellectual backgrounds and different point of views. And since they have different point of views, disagreements are unavoidable, especially where people have different perspectives in the same issues. When conflicts happen, the goal is not to prevent them, but rather to effectively resolve and manage them. When people use appropriate conflict resolution tools in addressing issues, they will keep their conflicts from rising to major problems. Conflict resolution is essential in business world because aside from it distinguishes good and bad businesses, it also helps reduce conflict instances among the employees. So, we should always look for lessons that we can take from the lessons we encountered and use those lessons effectively for the next time we have to deal with it. And that will allow us to develop and nurture our conflict resolution skills. We should also keep in our minds that managing and resolving conflicts at work is very important, not just for the relationships with our employees, but also in achieving our organizational goals.